Bloodbath. Bloodbath is a very unknown Boreal Warden user who will travel around near the Warden Shrine of the Boreal. People say if you have at least maybe a Boreal Warden at the teenager age or even at the adult age, he will usually appear. He will also appear during blood moon experiences, or even sometimes spawn in the Shadow Isle if you have 30 creatures in total. He is mostly seen in mountains outside of the Shadow Isle and is very unknown to many other Creatures of Scenario players. However, you may think he's just some kind of AI playing the game, like how most bots would usually play. But most bots are usually seen playing as the Sanctuary, a starter creature you play as once you are new to the game. This creepypasta is no creepypasta to be messed with at all costs. Since this thing is a tier 5, most tier 5 users are slow, like every other creature who is a tier 5. But for some reason, Bloodbath has a very big speed, which could actually be a result that he is coded by a hacker and roams all over the mountains map. What he'll do is usually be spotted eating people's dead players' carcasses, and which is basically kind of weird because the Boreal Warden is actually a herbivore, but for some reason people catch him eating a literal carcass when he's really a herbivore creature being played. The weathers, like I said, that he'll only be seen is during a blood moon or either sometimes during the deepest dark. When the Halloween event was out, he would usually appear during the deepest dark places, and the Halloween NPCs wouldn't go after him. However, he is somehow doesn't act like a normal player nor hacker, just acts like something to scare you like most game entities. Even though you may think he's just a harmless creepypasta in Creatures of Scenario, he is not. Things he'll do is make jump scare sounds, distort the sounds of the Boreal Warden, and will sometimes end up banning your account. However, if you're he can invite you into packs, but if you'll see he is the only one. If he invites you to a pack, do not accept the invitation. That is him trying to ban you from the game. People have used the sniff ability to see if he has a username, but appears he has no username whatsoever. Usually when you get close to a creature that is a high threat or low threat or even a medium threat to the creature you're playing as, it would usually show the person's username. But when it comes to Bloodbath, it does not show his name whatsoever. To this day, Bloodbath's username is very unknown, since people have not been able to spot it. People were assuming it was just the same thing as his usual name of what people would call him. But ever since they checked the leaderboard to report this guy, they never found a username called Bloodbath. It is either that Bloodbath is a bot or NPC that was forgotten and now just acts like a player most of the time. He can also do things to your game as well. If you're in a private server, he will somehow join, even if he's not a friend of yours or just a random player who found this server by either accident or purpose, because they're trying to find a lower server so they can get away from the CoSers. But if you find him in your private server, please be sure to leave your private server and leave immediately. Bloodbath has not been seen a lot ever since all these events happened, since people thought they finally banned him until another person spotted him again, and they were playing as a Puffwomp and they spotted him again. It is clear that the person who either did code him into the game might have coded him back in, or it's either that he somehow didn't get patched fully. Right now, he'll mostly spawn during Blood Moon experiences, and he'll go, and that will make him even more faster, since he is the only faster Boreal Warden user, even though the Boreal Warden or other tier 5 creatures are normally slow when you play as them, because they're not used to the gravity on Scenaria. But for some reason, this Boreal Warden is really fast and will go after you. Sometimes the Boreal Warden user, Bloodbath, will end up flying in the air, and sometimes we'll have the jump animation even though there's no animation for the Boreal Warden. The things he'll do to get your character or get your account banned from Creatures of Scenaria is that he will automatically make your character react to unknown things that you probably wouldn't want to see again. Like your character somehow shivering, and a cutscene will usually play with Bloodbath going after you. Unfortunately, there hasn't been any recorded evidence about this yet. If you don't want to see Bloodbath in any of your servers or packs, or even if you don't want him to invite you to his pack, do not meet him or try to do anything. However, there's no other ways to summon this creepypasta. It's either that he'll just show up randomly just to ruin your day. Bloodbath is a very unknown Boreal Warden user who does not seem to have a username when you use the sniff ability to find out if he does have a username when you go close to him. For some reason, he spawns during either different kinds of weathers, like the fog weather, the darkest night, which is in the Halloween event, or a blood moon, or sometimes in the Shadow Isle, if you have 30 creatures in total. It's kind of strange to either know if this is a real creepypasta, or if people think they're just hallucinating and just thinking they're just seeing things. Bloodbath will appear sometimes in your private servers or invite you to packs, which you should never accept. So if you see Bloodbath, please leave the game immediately.